When it comes to the events surrounding Jholie Moussa, there's a lot of different stories and speculations and theories, but there's only one truth and one fact, and that's Jholie Moussa was killed. Everything else in between seems to be a little blurred. Doesn't seem like we're getting the 100% authentic story as of yet. I don't believe we've gotten it. Not all of it. From what we know, the Friday Jholie Moussa came up missing, she was home with her twin. She was doing the twins' hair. She had been texting back and forth with her best friend. She also had been Snapchatting with a gentleman. The twin described Jolie as being a little anxious, excited even, as if she couldn't wait to text back and forth. Now, not long after getting into Jolie's hair and the texting, Zanae's hair and Jolie texting, Zanae says that Jolie states that she got to go and she'll be back real quick. The camera catches Jolie leaving. And she was walking. She had her coat on, a hood on her head because it was rainy that day. Now, in between the events in that portion of what I just said, she was texting her best friend also. They had been discussing a sleepover that was supposed to happen that evening. Initially, it was both twins that were supposed to spend a night with the best friend. However, Zanae wanted to spend time with a different friend whom she hadn't seen in a while. So, at the Moussa's home would be Zanae and that friend. And Jolie would be with the best friend. The best friend states that she got off work just a little early. Says she texts Jolie to see if she was ready. Jolie seemed a little bit slow at getting back to her and eventually let her know that she was almost ready. So she headed out to go pick Jolie up. By the time she gets to Jolie's home, Jolie's already gone. I think statements say that Jolie left around, what was it, guys? Around 4-ish, 4:30-ish, 45, before 5 o'clock. Just before 5 o'clock, I believe. The best friend states she got there more closer to 6. Now, the twin was there still. So the best friend gets to asking basically, well, where Jolie at? The twin lets the best friend know the same thing. Jolie says she'd be right back. But heck, it's been X, Y, and Z amount of time. Because remember, Jolie left before 5 o'clock. The best friend got there around 6. So it's been about an hour. Right back, right back. Ain't no hour. But anyway, so she reaches back out to Jolie. The best friend does. And she gets that same response, allegedly. Something about Norfolk. Now, the best friend is kind of bugging because she's like, man, is Jolie really gonna blow me off for some bull? She texts her but doesn't receive an answer. She stays over to Jolie's house for a little while after. Before long, she goes home. She gets home and texts her again. Still no answer. Later that evening, she texts again, but the text start coming up as undelivered. She lets her mom know that plans have changed and they're no longer having a sleepover. She heads to bed, gets up to the next day, and also sees that her messages are still undelivered. She heads over to the twins' house. Now, when she gets to the twins' house, Zanae's all anxious and upset. She hadn't heard from Zanae since she got the text about Norfolk herself. She responded to that message about Norfolk saying, "Hey man, that's 3 hours away." And she didn't get a response after that text message. So she is anxious as hell. The best friend says Janae's all excited and anxious. For one, she's scared she finna get in some serious trouble because Jolie should have been with the best friend, and now the best friend's at her house without Jolie. It's clear to me that no adults are available, at least not right now. They're not in the same house, at least not at this point. Sorry about that. But yeah, no adults are in the house, at least not at this point. They discuss with one another the possibilities of where Jolie could be. They start reaching out to friends, mutual friends of theirs, the other best friends and associates. They send text messages and they make phone calls, and they all get the same response. Ain't nobody seen her. No, she's not over there. And no, they haven't heard from her. But then I get to thinking, man, didn't we hear something about that there were about 20 or so of the friends questioned, and someone stated that they heard from Jolie during the time that she was missing? They never stated who that person was. But now we know. It was Jolie's best friend who was texting back and forth with Jolie around the time frame that Jolie's unaccounted for, or that same day. Now, back to the fact that no adults are available and the girls are basically doing their own investigation as to where the hell is Jolie. Now, as time progresses, the girls still don't reach out to any adults. Not the uncle, not the dad, not the mom, not yet. Time passes and it gets a little later in the day, a little bit towards a few hours before the time that Jolie came up missing the previous day. And the twin realizes she got to say something. She done got scared as hell. Ain't nobody heard from her. No friends are aware of her whereabouts. So she reaches out to probably the uncle because he's the person that's in town at this point. The best friend did say that she got permission from the uncle and the dad to call 911. She got permission to be the person that made the missing persons report. In order for her to have to be the person to call the authorities, no other adult must have been available. So, an adult is made aware. The uncle starts searching the neighborhood and talking to friends, etc. The best friend said everybody was in a frenzy, basically. The dad comes back in town. The mom is alerted. She comes in town, her and her fiance, or husband, I'm sorry. And they reach back out to authorities. They explain what has happened and they give them the information they have. They're basically told that Jolie probably is out blowing off some steam or she'll return. They put her in the system, but she's listed as runaway. Missing and runaway. Now, the parents get active in looking for their daughter. The uncle's active. The friend is active. Jolie is still, well, Janae is active, is what I mean to say. Now, the dad said he spoke to the boyfriend. Of course, he questioned the boyfriend. The boyfriend has a history of violence when it comes to his daughter, and an order of protection is in place, or do not contact order is in place. So, as a parent, that would probably be the first person I checked into as well. The best friend spoke to him and was given his whereabouts as being at home that Friday and also that Saturday. Later, she mentioned the fact that he wasn't there alone. That an adult was there, a woman, whom she's guessing is his mom. We're on day 3, and the authorities still haven't taken things serious. There's no Amber Alert issue. There's no searches being conducted. But on day 3 is when they start questioning friends. They questioned about 20 or so friends, some who they labeled uncooperative. Now, why they labeled them uncooperative, I don't know. I do know that they should have labeled their damn selves as uncooperative because they not only didn't issue a Amber Alert for this minor young girl, they also didn't search for this minor young girl. Anyway, on day 4, the FBI reaches out to the police and asks if they want assistance. And of course, they reach out to the family as well. And all parties say yes. So the FBI starts an investigation. The police claim that they've already started an investigation. And the family is active in investigating. The family doesn't feel like they're really being taken serious. So they reach out to not only social media, but they also reach out to a local reporter. Miss Peggy is the local reporter who comes down and gets the family's story. You can tell that it wasn't being taken serious at that point because there's no camera crew, there's no official equipment. Peggy is there with her cell phone, recording the family and their statements. The mom is distraught. The dad is nervous as hell, scared. Zane is a wreck. That same day, the dad hurt his eye. It's said that he was actually in the hospital getting stitches this very same day. Zane and Jolie's mom had to call him on the phone to let him know that he needs to try to come on and make it home because Peggy was headed home, well, to their home to go ahead and get this interview done. And both parents needed to be available for this interview. So he made it home and the interview process started. At first, to us, it seemed like not even Peggy was taking it very serious. Some of her facial expressions and the way she kept highlighting the father's stitches, she did try to make it clear that his eye was an accident and how it happened, etc., etc. But anyway, that didn't stop the speculation. People went to, I guess, accusing him or suspecting him. At least the public did. The media didn't. They already knew what the tea was. Peggy knew what the tea was. But you know how the public does. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that was clear and mentioned by myself because it seems like when it comes to being so quick to, I guess, pinpoint or put a magnifying glass over the family, that's the first thing people tend to do. So during the course of social media getting involved and taking this case serious and, blasting Find Jolie all over the web, it seems as though leads start to pour in and suspects start to be pinpointed as far as what people think and how they feel, as far as who may be involved or responsible. There's a gentleman who's highlighted by myself initially, and it's based on the fact that he reached out or made reference in regards to Jolie and her whereabouts, and he then had a conversation back and forth that seemed very suspicious, weird, and creepy, and all of the above. And based on that, I went to looking into him and discovered he had X, Y, and Z amount of social media pages, that he had suspect predatorial behaviors, and it was just all around odd and weird. I still feel in my gut that this dude, if he's not responsible for what happened to Jolie, he's responsible for somebody's baby. This dude, he makes your skin crawl and your stomach turn. The stuff he posts on social media and his behaviors, and man, I'm just saying, dude's a creep. Anyway, he's just one of the people suspected. But as time passes, we find out that on the 18th, Jolie's boyfriend was arrested for a prior incident, the one the dad was talking about. They had gotten into a fight, Jolie and him, and he hurt Jolie. He hit her. And although charges weren't pressed, the police decided to pick him up and press charges anyway. Now the state can do that. They can do that. They can decide that something needs to be followed through with, and they can do so. And they did in this case. Now, that doesn't come out until after Jolie's body had been found. About 2 weeks into the day, Jolie's body was found in a park. The park close, excuse me, the park close to her home, right at the area that a cell phone ping last. Right in the area where Jolie's father stated that on the phone records, a call was made to Jolie's phone to a 13-year-old boy who says he was in that same area where Jolie's phone pinged last, and someone used his cell phone to call Jolie's phone. Now, why that lead wasn't followed up sooner, I don't know. Again, I'm no private investigator, FBI agent, or nothing. I just think it's weird as fuck that that wasn't followed up. I also think it's weird as fuck that they didn't follow up the fact that the last ping was in the park. But hey, the FBI and the police don't search that park until they're given a tip. They're given a tip, I want to say maybe a couple of days before the 2 week mark. Now, the family, when they're doing their whole reaching out to social media and gathering and, getting search parties together, they're doing everything based on the fact that the last information they got stated something to the tune of Norfolk, Virginia. That's the information they got. Was this information true? Was it a legitimate lead? I don't know. But this is the information the family got. So if search parties omitted that park for whatever reason based on the information they had, we can't blame the family for missing Jolie's body. They were trying to do the best they could based on the information they were given. They're not the professionals in this case. But when it comes to the FBI and the police and the authorities that are responsible for following up every single lead, every single thing that makes sense, all the facts, clues, and things of that nature, there's no way possible that they shouldn't have searched that park prior to 2 weeks into this case. It just don't make sense. It shouldn't have taken for them to get a lead 2 weeks into this case for them to decide to check the local park where the phone pinged, where the 13-year-old, 12-year-old, whatever boy stated that someone used a cell phone, his cell phone, to make the last call received by Jholie Moussa's phone. It doesn't make sense. It's the authorities' responsibility to follow up those things and fast. It's a child. It's a minor child and a girl, to say the least. So this further lets us know that they did not take this serious. So they find Jolie's body 2 weeks to the day that Jolie came up missing, on a Friday, covered in leaves, fairly decomposed, and based on the way she presented in the park, they're thinking that she must have been there ever since the day that she came up missing, or the possibility of her having been there since the day she came up missing seems likely based on the process of decomposition and the way the body presented. So that again lets me know, and should let you know, that somebody knew that body was there. Because when it comes to dead bodies, There's a smell that's apparent and unlike any other thing that you've ever smelled before. You can't deny the smell of a dead body. You just can't. So if anybody had searched that park, they would have known that something wasn't right in the atmosphere. If the police had done what they were supposed to do and search that park, then trained individuals would have known that there was a body near. And if they searched that area the first time, they said the second time they found a body. But on that first tip, the first time they searched that park, based on how long Jolie was missing, why didn't they use cadaver dogs when they looked for that baby? Why did that lady, when she done a press interview, lie and say that they went and searched that park with the hopes of finding Jholie Moussa alive? Now, they knew that baby was not at that park alive. She wasn't swinging on no swing. She wasn't walking no trails. She was not in that park just there, alive. It's been 2 weeks. Does that even make sense? And whether you came there looking for her alive or not, you come prepared to find a body. You prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But yet and still, they didn't find her on that first visit to the park. They found her on the second visit to the park. It's only then that it's revealed that they have the 17-year-old boy in custody, and they've had him there since the 18th, and he's a person of interest. Not saying that they're supposed to reveal every single thing to us. They're not. But hell, I don't even think they told the family. But then I could be wrong. It's felt by a lot of people that maybe that they announced that they had the boyfriend in custody and under suspicion for her murder because they had to give the public something. They had just found a body 2 weeks after the investigation had started, supposedly, and it was less than a mile from the home. So that shows that they hadn't been looking for Jolie actively. So they had to give the public something. So we're going to let them know that we found this body, but let's give them something so they won't feel some kind of way about the fact that maybe we were negligent. Maybe we didn't take it serious. And maybe they won't pay attention to the fact that more man hours are being put into finding this dead body than there ever was put into finding this baby alive or sooner. I'm just saying. I think that's a real shitty thing to do. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, remember, the boyfriend is innocent to proven guilty. However, if he is guilty, I hope they throw the book at the baby. I do. But I also hope that they're not trying to shove this on this boy in the attempt to cover up the fact that they was on some bullshit the whole time. And I hope that they take all the other leads serious and not try to push this on this baby just because of his relationship with Jolie. I hope they take it serious as possible. They didn't take it serious in the beginning, but I hope damn sure that they take it serious now. Soon, I'm sure that we're gonna get the cause of death and DNA evidence, and hopefully that reveals who actually hurt Jolie. All right, guys. You know how we do. We chop it up in the comment section. So drop me a comment, a line, or how you feeling about the situation. What do you think the results are going to be? Are you guys still adamant about some of the feelings that you had initially? Do you believe it was a stranger that attacked Jolie? Do you believe it was the ex-boyfriend? Do you believe it was her father? God, I hope you guys don't think that, but hey, I know you guys gonna keep it 100 either way. But yeah, let's chop it up. Let's see how you guys are feeling about it now. Peace and love, guys. Till next time.